as you would expect, nice feel to the pages of the Italian newspaper. We take a look at the front pages from all around the country, very much celebrating, of course, that victory against England at Wembley. They had the parade today. Hundreds of thousands turning up to celebrate their victory. And let's welcome in, shall we? Gab Marcotti is with us. Gab, how are you?
I'm good. I'm running on just a couple hours sleep, but all told, it was pretty good watching, Italy go into their house and take it.
And the best team of the tournament won.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think it doesn't always happen, but I think over the course of the tournament, over the 7 games, I don't see who would make an argument there. It's true that they were outplayed by Spain in the semifinal, and I think they could have lost that game, but then Spain had other games where they were poor in the tournament and could have gone out. So on balance, for me, Italy were the best team in the tournament, and they lifted the trophy.
Who's getting the most credit for this, Gab? Is it Mancini?
I think above all, it's Mancini. I mean, look, we've talked endlessly on the show about how he's turned things around in 3 years, doing a hard handbrake turn on 100 years of Italian national team history in terms of the way they played, by being cautious, by defending deep, sitting deeper and deeper, trying to nick things at the other end. Basically kind of how England played much of the tournament. And he said, no, we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to try to play modern football. We're going to try to play the way club teams play. We're going to press you high up the pitch. We're going to be positive. We're going to take risks. And we're going to play this way even if we don't have a team packed with superstars up front, or we have a less talented team than we've had in the past, that's fine. We're still going to go out there and try to do it cohesively, and it worked.
They've been fun to watch throughout.
No question. And I love the fact that regardless of the opposition, they went out and played the way they play, because playing the way they did, they're at their best doing this.
Right.
He didn't do what England did and change formations and try and change some tactics and change this and change that. He was like, right, teams are going to have to beat us. Now, it's true, Spain probably outplayed them.
Yeah.
But you know what? You'll take that one. The rest of the time, 100%, they were the best side. They were the best side to watch, and they deserve to win this tournament, doing it their way.
We've been educated throughout our life and in football with a certain way of seeing Italy playing, where for the past 3 years we saw a dramatic change of thinking the football, and it works. You have to admire the mentality Italians have, because it's not a big country. In Europe, France, Germany, I don't know if England is bigger than Italy.
We think we are. Probably.
Well, no, I'm talking about the number of people living there, but it's not a big country. But the mentality over there about football, it's a real religion. They think, they eat, they drink about football, and they're capable of changing the way they've been playing for like 40 years and have that kind of results. You have to say,
And while it is true that Italy was more about the collective than the individuals, I have to tell you, this team had a lot of good players out on the field. You watch a kid like Federico Chiesa play and you think to yourself, man, why was this guy not starting from the very beginning of the tournament? And how much of a difference maker he was. Up until the injury, Spinazzola, you could make the argument, had been the best player in the tournament, and how much of a difference maker he was down the left-hand side. Insigne, very good when he gets into those spaces in which it's very difficult for the defensive midfielder to address his position, because you don't know whether you stay on Insigne or whether the center back steps to him. He is a matchup issue every time that he floats with and without the ball. Chiellini, of course. Bonucci, of course. Donnarumma, of course. And you start going up and down the field, and they may not be superstars, but they're not far from it. They still have a lot of good players on the field, and then you get that mentality that you're talking about, that energy that you're talking about, that sense of belief, and what you get is a team that from the very first game they played against Turkey up until the final, yes, a little bit of a dip against Spain, but it was the one team that you could say, you know what, yeah, this is a team that belongs in a final. You can say the same thing about England and the rest of the teams in this tournament. England was all over the place in the group stage, whereas Italy, they just kept getting better and better and better. They survived Spain, and then after that, all the way to the final.
Gab, I don't remember Mancini's Manchester City being this fun to watch.
No, I mean, obviously they did win their first Premier League title since the late 60s. But you're right. This is the thing about Mancini. He's played many different styles throughout his career. His first Lazio side were a very attacking side. His first Inter side as well. Then Ibrahimovic came and it became more about defend and counter. City certainly a lot more results driven. His return to Inter certainly a lot more defensive and results driven. Look, he's not one of those guys who has a big philosophy, a big idea. He's one of those guys who knows his football inside out and says, you know what, I'm going to adapt the system based on the group of players I have, our particular circumstances, and kind of the way the other teams are playing and what I think works right now. And, you know, he said this very explicitly. You look around Europe, who are the good teams? How do they play? How do Manchester City play? How do Liverpool play? How do Barcelona play on a good day? And, you know, other than a couple exceptions, like Atletico Madrid, maybe a bit of Juventus, the teams that have won in Europe, talking club sides, and this is the other great thing he did, he created club mentality. They all play a certain way. They all play proactive football. They all take risks. They all press high up the pitch. And he said, let's go out and do that. And maybe that'll be the edge that we can gain, because, you know, if we go up player for player against, say, France or maybe even Belgium, then they will have more talent.
Gab, is there any scenario in which he won't be in charge of Italy going into the World Cup next year? I.e., is there a possibility he could leave to go to a big club, given this victory?
I mean, this is football, right? So never say never. I would be absolutely shocked if it happened. I certainly don't, you know, given that the World Cup at this stage is 18 months away, I think if it did happen, it would have to happen now, like before the new season starts, because I don't think he would walk out with 6 months to go. But honestly, I think, you know, he said he wants to get back into club management at some point, but he was just so moved by what happened, by the spirit they created in the group, by the possibilities of what could happen in Qatar when, you know, they'll have some other injured guys back. First and foremost, Nicola Zaniolo, probably Italy's most talented player, who missed the tournament through injury. So I think right now this is the furthest thing from his mind.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.